I'm going to make the lower part of his coat now. So just like with the collar, I melted a bunch of flexible plastic and flattened it into a sheet. Now I'm just going to be melting it with the soldering iron and then shaping it to fit his body. And I'm going to trim off the top part that goes around his waist, make a straight line. Now I'm melting it and shaping it around his waist. I'm using metal pliers to stretch it and hold it in place because I don't want to burn my fingers, and also it doesn't seem to stick to metal, so that's good. Alright, so I've got roughly the silhouette I wanted for this lower coat part. Now it's a little bit too thick. I need to thin it out. See, it's still really flexible, but look how thick it is. I need to make it the same thickness as the collar. See that? Much more flimsy, but still really strong. Yeah, it's pretty much indistinguishable from these soft parts you would find on a commercial action figure. And in case you wanted to know, this is what I use. I guess they call it TPU Plus. It stands for thermoplastic polyurethane. And I just want to give you one last look at how thick this is before I start cutting it up and thinning it out. I'm going to be using the Dremel on it to make it as thin as possible without ripping it. You see the color getting all dark. I've been melting it with the soldering iron and then pinching it with the pliers. That's a pretty good way to get it thin, and it's still too thick, but you can see it's getting thinner. Look how burnt it is now. And it's significantly thinner, it's easier to bend, but still got quite a bit to go. It could be a lot thinner, actually. So I'm just gonna scrape it down with this here rotary tool. A few minutes later, and it is thin enough that I should be able to cut it with some scissors. So I'm just gonna roughly draw the end points at the end of his coat, and I'm just going to cut out the negative space. Well, it's a lot thinner now, but I made it so thin that I ripped some holes in it. So I'm gonna have to plug those up by stuffing some plastic in there and then melting it together. Alright, so he's got this belt, and I'm gonna make that using the scraps that I cut out of the lower part of his coat. So I'm gonna arrange these triangles and just melt them together. And then quickly trim the rough edges. And now I can attach the two belt strips to his coat. Alright, I guess that's that for now. I'm not going to permanently attach this coat piece to him until I'm done with it. Anyway, I'll see you later, I guess.
Ha 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 ha!